Have you ever wondered why men always switch up on you the moment after you have sex with them? What if I told you you can't actually prevent this unless you first understand why it happens? Which is exactly why on today's show we're going to be discussing why men fall in love when you don't have sex with them. That way, before he can bait and switch the situation on you, you already know exactly why you must avoid this fatal mistake. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say you're present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome to the show, chat. Sorry to be so late today. You guys know I got my new computer. I wanted to make sure everything was all good for you guys. And I'm sure on TikTok, you guys have noticed a little bit of an increase in quality there. I hope you've noticed. If it looks a little bit more clearer HD, let me know on TikTok. And I did some little tweaks on YouTube as well. What is going on here? Oh, those are donations. Okay, great. That's awesome. All right. Thank you so much, chat. I appreciate you guys for bearing with me and waiting here. Who we got up in the TikTok chat? I see we got Melanie here, New Pixel here. Emma is here. User is here. Let me scroll up and see who else we got here. Susanna is here. Dominica is here. Tala is here. Okay, Vanessa is here. Welcome all you, those of you who are in the TikTok chat. And of course, we got Sharice, Scotty, and SH here as our moderators in the TikTok chat. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? We got Henya, one of our amazing channel members is here. Jazz, one of our amazing people is here. Mary is here. Sharon is here. Minnie is here. Null is here. Great Fortune Cookie Art channel member is here. Nicole, the most generous channel member, is here. And Ivy, one of our amazing channel members, is here. And so much more. And of course, we have Missy America holding it down for us in the YouTube chat. Okay, good to see all you people. Let's get started today. Did you guys miss me throughout the weekend? How was your weekend? I want to know. Okay, I updated, for those of you who are on YouTube, I updated our chat on YouTube. So now, it's a secret way I did it. Now there will be no delay. When I ask you a question, you know how the TikTok chat's usually first? You guys will be able to hear me with no delay. So from my voice, when I actually say it and I ask questions, it'll be much more interactive for all of us. I try to always make the show better. Okay, let's hop into our first point here that we're going to be discussing, because today, even though it's Monday, we're getting very serious right away. All right. Okay, we're going to be talking about power dynamics. Power dynamics are so important to understand in any relationship that you're in, whether it be platonic, friendly, whatever, family, any type of relationship. It's so important to understand the dynamics at play because they are going to determine a lot of things in the way that you speak to each other, interact with each other, and all of this good stuff. So we're going to kind of be describing power dynamics in a visual sense. So you all with me here, okay? So let's imagine that there are two different armies going on here, right? And in these two armies going on, let me just mute this, all right? In these two different armies that are going on, we first have the men, and then we have you here, okay? So we've got the men's army, and we've got your army of soldiers. All of you guys have your little, I can't draw, man. You guys have your little guns, okay? There's the little army front, or we could say spears, okay? If we want to think of medieval times, sorry. Spears and horses, okay? All right, so all of your little attack weapons, pew, 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 or if it's in the future, they're lasers, all right? So everyone has their own individual army in the power dynamic. Now, here's the thing that I want in a serious sense for you guys to understand as it relates to power dynamics. When you start in any romantic relationship, assuming, you're a heterosexual woman and you like masculine men, right? So assuming you're in a situation like that, where the men should naturally be approaching you because they want to pursue you and get to know you, you start off with what we would describe as the advantage, right? Think of it like your army is winning. Your army is gaining some ground on oops, why did I draw that arrow like that? Your army is gaining some ground on his army, right? You're winning, getting the win, right? Because you're in a position of power, right? Obviously, if you're thinking of it as your army is in a position of power, then your army is winning. The reason you're in a position of power is because he is approaching you from the very beginning, hopefully, Hopefully you're not approaching men, all right? I hope you're not. He is approaching you from the very beginning of the relationship. He's telling you how he feels about you. He's telling you that he thinks you're attractive. He's telling you that he wants you and he wants to get to know you more and take you out on a date. So you're in a position of power because you get to have the say-so to either say yes to him or say no to him. You're determining if you're going to allow this to move forward. That's a lot of control. It also means you have a lot of leverage. It means that your army is winning. You're taking control here. So at the beginning, the power dynamic is in your favor. But what you'll notice is that as soon as you sleep with men, oh boy, as soon as you sleep with him and you now allow him to jackrabbit himself for 90 seconds inside of you, okay, because we know it never lasts more than 90 seconds, okay? How much does it last for you? Tell me in the chat. He begins to take control with his army, okay? I always tell you guys relationships are like war, right? He begins to make some headway into your battleground territory. Now he's the one winning, right? Now the reason that he's winning is because the dynamic has flipped on its head. No longer are you, the person in the position of leverage, able to tell him yes or no. Instead, he has now accomplished what he came here to do, okay? And we'll talk about that in a couple more points over. What he accomplished and came here to do. Now, because he's gotten somewhere with you, he no longer has to seek validation, which we're going to talk about, and he gets to say, okay, I got what I needed. Now I no longer have to be in a position where I'm asking things of her to try to get to know her, to spend more time with her, to be around her or court her, right? Because I've already gotten the brunt of what I really wanted out of this situation, which is the ultimate version of access to her. So when this power dynamic flips on its head, if that man is not in this relationship or situationship for the right reason, all of a sudden you start to realize he's not in this position or in this relationship or situation for the right reason after he sleeps with you, because now he's the one in the position of leverage. Now his army is the one making headway, winning the war. Because now he no longer needs your approval in order to keep progressing. He has already progressed to the place where he wants to get to. And because he no longer needs your approval, your say-so, and you no longer have the leverage to be able to control the pace this goes at or where it goes, he now gets to actually reveal to you how he really feels. So then why do men fall in love when you don't sleep with them? They fall in love with you when you don't sleep with them because they never get this position of power. And by the time they do get this position of power, by the time they do sleep with you, they've spent so much time in a position without the leverage, without the power, without the army gaining headway, that in this process, they have invested so much of their time and energy into you that the only way they can continue on now is by continuing to invest that time and energy into you. One, because they fall in love with you in that time frame that they've spent without the leverage with you in the position of power. And all of their investment has actually made them more attached and fond of you. We're going to talk about that in a couple more points over. But I want you guys to get the gist of that in point number one and how that power dynamic can really flip on its head. So sometimes, and this doesn't always have to be a bad thing, sometimes when the power dynamic flips after you sleep with him, you'll realize that he's actually here for the right reasons. He'll continue to invest in you, and you guys will grow your relationship, in which case, that's good. That's awesome. I want that for you. I'd be happy if that happened to you. But what happens a lot of times is when the men have that position of power, they abuse it. And they abuse it in the sense of saying, okay, now is my time to shine. Now is my time to take advantage of her and make sure I get what I want and make sure I continue to give as little as I possibly can back to her. And we don't want that for you, okay? We really don't want that for you. Does that make sense to you guys so far, right? Please understand, power dynamics can shift in a moment. And let me even add as well, okay, I know I kind of erased a little bit of my drawing. Let me add as well, power dynamics can switch even in a slighter, smaller sense before you sleep with him, simply by you giving him more and more access to you that he has not yet earned. So for example, you might say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to sleep with that man. Okay. I'm not going to, lay in the bed with him. However, because I want him and want to be in a relationship with him and I think he's super attractive, I'm going to instead, allow him to put his head between my legs and, eat me out. I know that's graphic. And because you end up doing that, he then says, okay, perfect. I'm gaining some headway here. I'm gaining some momentum. My army is moving forward, okay? And when his army is moving forward, he feels like, okay, slowly but surely the power dynamic is becoming in my favor. So don't think it's all just about when he penetrates you. Sometimes it's also about when he gets access to you in other ways. He's advancing, as who said that? Sister Wanda said that in the chat, okay? By the way, those of you on YouTube, if you're hearing a sound, it's probably the coin sound. Don't worry, for future shows, I'll get rid of that coin sound because I don't want that to be happening the whole time. But if you want to watch no coin sound, it's over on YouTube. You go on the top right corner of the screen. Just watch the stream on YouTube instead, and there will be no coin sound. I don't believe so, right? Tell me in the YouTube chat, do you guys hear a coin sound as, I'm talking and yapping? I hope not, right? Let's hop into our second point here. Very, very important. And I want you all to hear this. Okay. In conscious goals, no matter what people will want you to believe. Okay. So if we imagine this as a car, you guys know I can't draw, so it is what it is. If we imagine this as a car, and this is the man's car, the man. And in this car, he's going from point A to point B. And obviously, his destination is to sleep with you. Okay, let's not play around. Now, the reason I say this is because for men, and this is where I come in to try and help you understand how men think, what they want, and how they go about things, okay? For the men that you're talking to, the thing that is going to make them feel the most accomplished in the relationship with you is to be able to get to this destination of being able to sleep with you, okay? I know for you, it's very different because you're a different type of human being. You don't operate like that. You don't think like that. That's not what matters to you, okay? Now, the reason I say this is because in reality, for the men, the way they're going to feel the most accomplished and satisfied in their relationship with you is when they get to this finish line of being able to sleep with you. So we think of this as point B and this over here as point A. Oops. As point A. And point A is just from first meeting you. So from when he first meets you to when he's able to actually sleep with you, he's always trying to make this journey as efficient, as quick, and as painless as possible. The reason I say painless is because if he has to spend a lot of time and investment getting from this point at the beginning of the relationship to getting to this point, that's going to be painful for him. Painful from the standpoint of it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of perseverance, going to take a lot of willpower. You're going to have to go through ups and downs. But this is a good thing. And the problem for you is when you allow men to get to this from this point A to this point B in one night, right? They automatically feel the ultimate sense of accomplishment and satisfaction in their relationship with you in one night. And so you might be here saying to yourself, well, Tomisin, there's so much more to me than just my body. I know I have a huge dump truck. I know I'm so voluptuous. I know all the men chase after me and desire me and I look like a supermodel, but I have a great personality too. I know that if he just got to know more about me, he would love me even more once he got to know the real me because I'm so amazing, bubbly, and full of life and energy. But the problem is for the men, they already feel the satisfaction of the accomplishment once they've slept with you. So you might think to yourself, okay, what's really wrong with him feeling satisfied or accomplished here? The problem is once men get the satisfaction of feeling accomplished, they no longer feel like there's any work to be done, okay? Right? If I take a car here and I drive my car and I say, okay, I want to take my car to a particular destination. I want to go to a cookie shop. I really love cookies. I'm going to go to Crumble Cookie today. You guys like Crumble Cookie? It's got a lot of calories, okay? I want to go to Crumble Cookie today, and that's my destination where I want to take my car. By the time you drive your car, okay, your G-Wagon, and you get to Crumble Cookie and you eat your cookies, that's it. You're not going to take your car and say, okay, well, now I'm just going to drive around in circles some more. Or now I'm going to go to another Crumble Cookie because I just feel like going to all the Crumble Cookies in the town, right? Once you get to your destination and you satisfy what you came there to do, there's no longer anything left to do there. And so what do? You leave Crumble Cookie, right? Or at the very least, you just don't care about what's going on there. You don't care about when it's open. You don't care about when it closes. You don't care about what flavors they're making there, and you don't care about anything else except for getting back home and focusing your energy back on you. Your energy is no longer focused on Crumble Cookie once you get there and you eat the cookies. So my point being, not that you're cookies, but my point being, when they feel the ultimate sense of accomplishment, that is the immediate moment that they stop putting their best foot forward. Because that sense of accomplishment makes them feel like they don't have to, because they already got what they came here to do. So prolonging this is not necessarily always a strategy of, oh, I want to make you wait because I want to torture you, and I want to make you feel anger, and I want to make you feel pain. It's actually a way to give him what he needs versus what he wants. Because when he gets this all in one night, he might tell you how amazing your connection is and how butterflies are flying in his stomach and the fireworks are going off. But at the end of the day, when he gets to this destination, especially when he gets there so quickly without any real investment or any real journey to get there, he never actually feels like there's anything left to do here. He feels immediately the satisfaction of saying, hey, well, I've gotten where I wanted to go. I don't particularly care to explore more here, so I'm going to leave, okay? What you're trying to do here, and I'll kind of crystallize this in another point, but I'm going to explain this to you really quick. What you're trying to do here is you're trying to understand that you want to prolong this process so the men can continue exploring you and exploring your personality, your character, who you are. And in the process of exploring you, hoping to get to this destination, they will eventually discover how amazing of a person you are, fall in love with you. And then after they get to this destination, they're not just going to say, oh, well, that's all I really wanted here. That's the essential goal here. But we'll talk about that more in another point. All right, let's hop into point number 3. Okay, got lots of points here today. Went over my normal 5. You guys still follow me, still paying attention? For those of you guys on TikTok, is it better now? Okay, no more weird sounds and things like that. I would hope not. All right, let's hop into point number 3. Okay, this one we're gonna have a little bit of fun with. All right, and I've talked about investment before with you guys, but we're going to kind of talk about this in a little bit of a different way, okay? So let's say for the sake of example, I have a lemonade stand, okay? Me, Tomisin, I opened a lemonade stand and I'm going to sell lemonade. And I come to you, okay? And I tell you, look, girlie, I got you. We're going to make so much money. I've got a little lemonade stand that I'm opening up for you and me together, right? You don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to be there. I've got this secret lemonade formula. It's like the Krabby Patty formula, but for lemonade. And when I make this lemonade, it's going to be the best lemonade anyone's ever tasted. We're going to sell it on the corner. Okay, if you live in Toronto, we're going to sell it on King Street. You know where that is if you live in Toronto. And we're going to make so much money. All you have to do is give me 3 months, and you put in $10,000. All I need is $10,000 for the 3 months, and I promise you, after those 3 months is over, right? I will turn your $10,000 into $50,000. You don't understand. The way this lemonade is hitting, the way it's going to hit their taste buds when they taste it, the sour with the sweetness, and it's just going to be so good, I promise you. But you need to believe in me and believe in my ideas and believe in my resolve, and I will take us in just a measly 3 months from $10,000 to 50K. You invest in your money into me, you believe in me, it's me, okay? I'm asking you, do you believe in me that I'm going to be able to make your money back? Now, let's imagine, for the sake of argument, you invest this this $10,000 into me and this lemonade stand. You're like, okay, Tomisin, I believe in you. I want to see you win. I also want to see myself win, and I want to see my bank account numbers go up exponentially. So if you're telling me it's going to take 3 months only for you to make this lemonade stand and turn it into something amazing, and I'm going to make $50,000 after you do this, bet, let's do it. I'm going to invest 10K into you. So the 3 months goes by, and you see me working. I'm building the lemonade stand. I'm on the corner. I'm selling lemonade. Hey, everyone, you want some lemonade? I'm having people try it and stuff like that. And they take a sip of it. I'm going to take this and take a little sip right here, okay, to show you an example. They take a little sip. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is horrible. This is horrible. And I'm like, oh, well, why don't you like it? They're like, oh, this is disgusting. It's the worst lemonade I've ever tasted. And so we don't make any sales. In the 3 months, instead of making $50,000, I only end up making total with my investment and your investment. I only end up making $10. Okay. But when I come to you after the 3 months, I tell you, look, okay, there were some glitches in the system. The sweetness was a little bit off. I put a little bit too much lemon. I promise you, you give me 1 more month, and I promise you, not only you're going to make your 50K, but I can assure you, you give me 1 more month, I'm going to turn your 50K that was supposed to be in 3 months, in 4 months, I'm going to make it 60. I promise you. And then the 1 month goes by and I'm still not able to get you any sales. And so I tell you again, look, I just need another 2 months to perfect this, okay? And so on and so on and so forth, okay? And the reason you're inclined to even keep investing your money is because you get to a point where you say, well, damn, I already invested my 10,000. So I guess I'm just going to allow you more time because my investment is already lost. And if I don't give you some, time to make this investment back, then I'm actually going to have to eat that loss. I'm actually going to have to realize that I lost $10,000 on your stupid lemonade stand. So I hope that if I give you 1 more month, and then if I give you 2 more months, eventually you'll make that money back for me. The reason I give you this example is to help you understand how investment works, even in a relationship standpoint. In this lemonade stand, imagine your money is energy. Okay, so I'll even put it here. So instead of it being money in the financial sense, we're thinking of energy, right? And for men, as they invest more and more energy into you, the idea that if they don't sleep with you, they don't accomplish their goal, like we talked about in the point previously, and they don't get to the destination that they most desire to get to. After a while, they start to say to themselves, well, I've already invested 3 months and $10,000. So at a certain point, I'm just going to say, okay, I'll invest another 1 month, right? I put month. When I get so excited, sometimes I just skip the letters. Okay. Why didn't nobody say that in the chat? You didn't see that? I put month instead of month. You should be noticing that. You're supposed to be my spell check chat. All right. Now, as time goes on, right? The 3 months is turning into 4 months, which is turning into 6 months, because the men are saying to themselves, well, at a certain point of my level of investment and time and energy investment, if I don't sleep with her, if I don't accomplish my goal, if I walk away now and I don't get the opportunity to accomplish this goal, then I'm going to be left with nothing. After all my time and energy spent, I have really nothing to show for it except a couple of Instagram pictures and, some good times and maybe some kisses on the cheek. But that's a good thing because remember how we talked about with the power dynamic before and how at the beginning you start with all the power and leverage. As time goes on and you continue to not sleep with him, he continues to not have that power because it's all in your favor. And as more time is going on, he's forced to say to himself, okay, I have to make a decision here, right? I have to make a decision about where do I think I'm supposed to be investing my time and energy? Because at a certain point, if I'm not able to sleep with her for the amount of time and energy that I'm spending with her, if I'm going to continue spending time and energy with her, I'm going to have to eventually just realize either I don't want to be with her, or at a certain point, I'm going to have to say, well, I do like her. I do like spending time with her. And I'd be in a relationship with her whether or not I get to sleep with her, because eventually I will get there. So you actually start to put men into a corner. I know it sounds weird because we're talking about why they fall in love with you, but they get put in a corner where there's only one of two choices to make. Either I make the choice to continue investing in her, that eventually we will get to my destination of being able to sleep with her, but I also enjoy spending time with her. So investing in her is not an issue, right? So they approach you from a serious standpoint, or they say to themselves, at this point, I can no longer invest any more time and energy because I know I was only here to be unserious. I was only here to fool around, okay? So a function of why they end up falling in love with you is because the way you present yourself, and the dynamic that occurs in a situation where you're not sleeping with the man for nothing at the very beginning, he has to say to himself, either I continue to invest with the possibility that, it's really still going to be some time before I sleep with her, but I'm here for real, because I actually want her. Or he says to himself, I'm no longer investing because I'm not here for the seriousness anyways. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? Devil Blue says, for how long time-wise is long enough? Well, here's the thing. I can't give you a solid date or number of days, not because I want to confuse you and not because I want to, make you make mistakes. It's because if I give you a number of days, right, you'll only think about the number of days it's been since he hasn't gotten to sleep with you. The problem with that, though, is in that amount of days, many different possible things could have happened and transpired. Meaning, you could spend 90 days saying, I'm going to take 90 days before I sleep with a guy. That 90 days could come and go. And in that 3 months that you were supposed to be working on the relationship, all you did was sit around and watch movies with that guy. So you don't actually know him better. You don't know anything about his life. And you've never even met his friends, his family, anything. You have no way of verifying who he is or what he's about. Then you sleep with him after the 90 days of movie dates. And then you realize afterwards that he's not actually serious or invested in you or this relationship. Okay? So there's a problem with the structure of how long is long enough. Because long enough is also a matter of how much quality time you're spending together, right? What's the quality of the time you're spending together? And what's the frequency of the time you're spending together? Because I can spend 90 days knowing someone and dating them, but I could go in those 90 days, I could go on one date a month. And so how much do I really know someone by going on one date a month with them for 3 months, right? And each date is 2 hours, not a whole lot. So you get my drift, right? You also have to be factoring in quality. And you also have to be factoring in frequency over the course of time, right? And that's something where you kind of have to get good at understanding when is appropriate and when is not appropriate based on the amount of information that you've gathered, okay? But that's a whole nother show of another day. Maybe we might have to talk about that. We kind of did talk about pacing men, but maybe we might have to talk specifically about the sex timeline, okay? I know I usually say pineapples, but I don't want to confuse too many people because the whole show is about sex, okay? So let's hop into point number 4. You guys following me still? I know I'm going a little bit fast. I'm speedy talker. My mind be going, all right? Let's go into point number 4. All right. Something that, I want you guys to be thinking about in general when it comes to men, okay? Let me draw this on the bottom. the wants and the needs. This is an important thing to understand. And we're going to draw in a little visual here why this is so important. I've talked to you actually, guys, about this in general, but men are a lot like children. The reason that they're like children is because let's say you have a baby here, right? I can't draw people, so I obviously can't draw babies. I'm just going to draw a stick figure baby, okay? Small baby, large head, just like your ginormous head, okay? Don't diss me. So you have a huge head baby here, right? Huge head child here. And these children, they want a lot of different things. Very curious kids they are. And so one of the things that your child really wants is a nice, large chocolate bar, okay? Right? Kids love chocolate and candy. And so your child that you have is begging you for a chocolate bar. He wants more and more chocolate. He loves chocolate so much. He loves Snickers, all the different chocolates. He loves them, and he's begging you to have a chocolate bar. But he hasn't eaten anything all day, and you know that if you give him this entire chocolate bar, he'll eat the entire chocolate bar, and he won't feel very good. But here's the problem with children, okay? And I told you your man's a little bit like a child. If you give this child this entire chocolate bar here, right? Draw this good. If you give the child 100% of the chocolate bar, that child will eat the entire chocolate bar. And what will that child turn around and do? They'll turn around and puke it all up because they get sick. Oh, now I'm sick. My stomach hurts. My belly is hurting, okay? My thin, stick belly is hurting. And I'm throwing up because I feel so nauseous after eating all of that sugar. Mom, my stomach hurts, okay? That's the problem, though, with children. They want things, but they don't understand how the things that they want actually affect them. So you being the adult, I know this sounds strange, but I want to explain it to you like this. You being the adult here, when you have a child and that child is asking you for chocolate, right? We'll just call it your chocolate bar, the CB. Instead of you giving him 100% of that chocolate bar when he asks for it, you say, okay, Jimmy, Timmy, Tommy, Tomisin, maybe your child's name is Thompson, that'd be weird though. Instead of me just handing to you your chocolate bar right away, right, 100%, and knowing that you're gonna eat it and feel sick, I'm gonna tell you as the adult in the room, hey, I'm gonna give you your chocolate bar, but you gotta eat your entire dinner first, and after you eat your entire dinner, I'm gonna give you, and you don't actually say this, you just know that this is what you're gonna do. I'm gonna give you your chocolate bar, but even still, you know that when he eats his entire meal, you're not just gonna hand him the entire chocolate bar. What you're gonna do instead is you're gonna give him a small piece. So let's say you're gonna give him 10% of the chocolate bar. Because you understand that even though you want the chocolate, and even though I promised you the chocolate bar, I'm still gonna set stipulations around when and where you will get the chocolate bar, how you'll receive the chocolate bar, and even then, I'm gonna control the portion as to how much you actually get of the entire chocolate bar. Because me, the adult, I understand that you want chocolate, and I know that you desire chocolate. And I know that chocolate is what you crave and would make you so happy to eat it all up in 10 seconds. But the reality of it is, despite the fact that you want that chocolate bar, if I gave you the entire chocolate bar, you would not respond well. So let's connect this to the men and the men that you're dating. Your men are like children. They want to sleep with you on the first night. If they trust you, me and you were friends. They see your amazing dump truck, your beautiful yitties, and your tight dress, right? Walking around, your tight jeans, whatever you like to wear. They come up to you, they would love to be able to sleep with you in the first 30 seconds of hearing your name. Okay? If they could somehow create a world in which they could see your beautiful body, walk up to you and sleep with you before you even finish your name, that would be even better to them. The reason I say that though is because they might say, I would love a world like that where I just want all my women to be straight up with me. So when the women like me, I want them to tell me, I want them to pursue me, I want them to jump on top of me, I want them to text me 24/7, message me all the time and be all over. They will tell you that that's what they want. In reality, though, just like children, when you give them all of that, when you give them the entire chocolate bar, when you sleep with them on the first night or in the first 30 seconds, they immediately get sick of you and say, I'm actually, I don't want this anymore. I'm just kind of feeling like I'm not really ready for a commitment. Me and you, we're not as compatible as I thought. You know what? I think I still am very in love with my ex. Okay. And all of these excuses and different feelings pop out of nowhere in different situations. And it all just goes into a big, large mess. But that's because the men are like children, unfortunately. They think they know what they want, but they don't actually understand what they respond to. So you as an adult, you have to understand, okay, yeah, pipe down. Yeah, you think you want the chocolate bar. Do this for me first. Do that for me first. You're going to take me out on dates first. You're going to court me first. You're going to be consistent with me first. I want to see some of those things, right? That's like telling the child, I want you to eat your entire meal first, right? Eat up your good portions of your healthy meat, chicken, protein, and carbs first. Then after you do that, and I've seen you've actually accomplished that, then you can get just 10% of the candy bar. And the reason I'm feeding you just 10% of the candy bar, first of all, don't worry about what percentage I'm feeding you. But the reason I'm feeding you that is because I want to see how you respond to that. Because even when you accomplish what I wanted you to accomplish, it's not just about me giving you the entire 100% chocolate bar because that's what you want. It's about me understanding that even when I give you what you say you want, I want to ensure that your response is in line with what I want. Because what you want in terms of getting this 100% chocolate bar and what I want as the adult feeding you the chocolate bar that doesn't want to clean up your throw up because you're sick of me, I want to be able to ensure that you're going to be able to handle what I do give you and respond accordingly. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? And so this is what you have to understand about men and why it's easy for them to fall in love with you when you treat them this way, because of the difference between their wants and needs. Okay? Someone said, what's 10%? In this scenario, the 10% wouldn't be necessarily sleeping with him just because you see him doing a few things right. It would be allowing things to escalate on a smaller scale where he gets a little bit more access to you. So, for example, you can go from being with the guy and let's say you just go on casual dates in public. And then maybe you get to a point where you say, okay, now that I like some of the things that I've been seeing from you, I'll allow us to go to a more intimate place. Maybe like we'll go to a movie theater or I'll be in your car and you can take me somewhere or, whatever the case may be. Maybe I'll allow us to, make out and some heavy petting, and we'll see how you respond to that, right? And slowly but surely, I'll feed you a little bit more and a little bit more, but I'll see how you respond. I'll always give myself an opportunity to see how you respond. Then when we finally get to the big thing where I give you everything that you've been wanting and wishing for, right? In the scenario, it will have been after I have drip fed you, right? Fed you, or I guess we could say breadcrumb, not really breadcrumbing, but you get my point. I have given you small dosages of what you say that you want. That way, when I see how you respond, I can ensure that your response is not going to be throwing up all over the place and being sick of me. Okay? Does that make sense? Someone said, can you use this on an ex? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The first thing you shouldn't be thinking of when we're talking about having sex with men is not thinking about your ex. You've already done that. Okay? That's not going to work. Okay? So, very, very, very important, okay? And I want you guys to all understand that and why that's important here. Let's hop into point number 5. Okay. So, in point number 5 here, we're going to be discussing another important aspect of relationships and men. Point number 5. Now, this isn't the typical kind of insecurity. Obviously, point number 5 is insecurity. This isn't the typical kind of insecurity. This is a very specific kind of insecurity that I want to describe to you here. I've given you guys a light bulb analogy before, but this light bulb analogy is going to be slightly different because we're talking about something slightly different here. So this light bulb today is going to be representing ego, right? And this light bulb is representing ego because it has different sources. And one of the main source of energy for this light bulb here, this ego light bulb, is sex, okay? The reason for that is because for men, like we talked about with the accomplishment and the satisfaction, this is the ultimate feeling of, oh yeah, she wants me, she desires me, she enjoys being with me, and I am truly the man. Nothing will make a man feel more like the man than being with you. So because this is kind of like an energy power for the ego, this becomes very, very, validating, okay? This whole process, right? This is essentially the validation process. And so the ego is validated through these different sources. But the thing about it is, and this is why men fall in love when you don't sleep with them, when this is no longer an energy source on the table, or at least not anytime soon, what men have to do and are forced to do is try and validate themselves through other sources, right? And the thing about this is, this process makes them very insecure because this here is like the ultimate version of validation, right? Think of this like the most efficient energy source, okay? It's all knowing, all seeing, and it never ceases to exist. It's so powerful. This is the ultimate energy source because with this, when they get this from you, they realize that there's no way you don't like them, you don't want them, and they aren't amazing. Because why would you allow that man to go inside you, penetrate himself inside you, and jackrabbit himself inside you unless he was that amazing? So the reason I say that is because when men don't get this, they are forced to look for other sources to validate that ego. The problem is these other sources are always going to be not as efficient, not as amazing as this source. And it's the process, because they're not as amazing and not as efficient, this is making them insecure. Making them insecure in the relationship, making them insecure about you, making them insecure about what you even want here, or if he's wasting his time here. So when he looks for these other sources, right, in the process of that, he's going to try to get you maybe to verbally validate him, tell him how much you like him, tell him how much you want to be with him, right? Or what he's going to try to do, he's going to try to see how much time of yours he can get, how available he can make you to him, okay? Because these can also be sources to feed that validation and feed that and energize that ego, so to speak. Because if he can get you to verbalize how amazing he is and how much you want him and want to be with him, then he can be like, okay, yeah, I see that she likes me and I see that she wants me and wants to be with me. Also, if he can put you in a position where you become so obsessed with him that you'll drop everything in your life for him. You'll abandon family members, you'll abandon friendships, you'll leave your parties, you'll take off work, anything that you wanted to do, you'll stop doing immediately to be with him. That also becomes validating and a source of energy to the ego, because they recognize that the only way you could do that is if they were amazing and if they were the man and if they were so awesome. So when you don't sleep with men, you cross out this huge source over here of energy, energy that goes to the ego, flows to the ego, and powers them up and makes them feel so good about themselves, makes them feel so secure in the relationship, okay? And when they don't have these sources, they're forced to look at the other sources, but like I said, they're not as efficient. So now you have on your hands an insecure man. I'm not talking about insecure as it relates to how he feels about himself, right, internally. I'm talking about insecure as towards how he feels you feel about him. And you might think to yourself, why would I not give my partner the ultimate reassurance? Why wouldn't I tell him how amazing he is and how much I want him and want to be with him so that he knows that I do care and knows that I do like him? Thompson, I don't want him to think that I don't like him. You actually do, in a weird way. Because that insecurity will actually inspire him to put his best foot forward in the relationship. When he doesn't have that insecurity, when he feels ultimately secured by this ultimate energy source, that's when you get a lazy man. I don't make the rules, but I can explain them to you. You get a lazy man because that security is very peaceful, very relaxing, very satisfying. Because he realizes there's no work left to be done. There's no more validation that I can get or receive from her than the already existing validation from sleeping with her. And because I've already received this ultimate source of validation to my ego as it relates to this relationship, I am satisfied, truly. And because I am truly satisfied, there is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to look. There is no more energy that I need to put forth towards this woman or this relationship to feel that security. I am already deeply secure. Unfortunately, when that happens, you stop seeing a lot of the things that you were once seeing before in that relationship. Okay? So when you cross this out, you're doing yourself a favor because you're making him insecure. That actually leads to him putting his best foot forward. Okay? Trying to actually get some sort of validation from you and how you feel about him. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Very, very important, right? Style says, the Disney movies got women thinking men are Prince Charmings and knights in shining armors when most ain't poop, okay? I agree with that, which is exactly why we have the Players Club to help you differentiate the trash from the treasures, because there are good men out there. Now, I will say the good men are not as, you won't come across them as often as the bad men. But if you understand what you're looking for and also how the bad men will present themselves in all these different ways, schemes, and tricks, then you'll be better equipped to get rid of the trash men as soon as they present themselves to you. Okay, that's what the whole Players Club's about, all right? Let's hop into point number 6. I told you guys, got a lot of points today. Okay, I come prepared. Only thing that was holding me back was the making sure the computer was good. But now that I'm aware, got it all working right, will be good for the future. Let's go on to point number 6 here. And let's discuss something that I'm sure you've probably experienced before. Okay? Point number 6. All righty. Ooh, why did my E look like that? All right. So we're going to be talking about taking a mile, okay? And we're going to use a little bit of an interesting visual here as it relates to taking a mile. So let's imagine we have a boy here. Oh, this is a massive head boy. Really big head. This head's about the size of your, oh no, it's a little bit smaller than yours, okay? Really big head, really small body, and a really silly cut, okay? Now, this big head little boy, he's very hungry. Oh, his belly, he's starving. Look at his little belly. Very hungry boy. Very hungry, so hungry, he's starving. His stick body, no food, malnutrited. Okay, whatever. You get my point. So, very hungry boy. Let's say he's in a position, he's so hungry, he's begging for food. Okay. And you're in a position today, you're working at a soup kitchen. And in this soup kitchen, everyone gets one bowl of soup, okay? Actually, let's make it, I want to make this funny, okay? Everyone gets one bowl of porridge in this porridge kitchen. Okay, you're working in a little, a homeless shelter. And everyone is only supposed to get one bowl of porridge, okay? Everyone, that's the rule. They told you at the beginning. Because if you throw this off for the amount of people that are there and the numbers aren't what the numbers are supposed to be, some people won't get food. So this boy comes to you. He's like, please, madame, can I get a bowl of porridge? And so you're like shedding a tear. You're like, oh my God, you look like one of those kids on the African channel that are like starving and got flies on their face. You look so sad and malnutritioned, right? And because you look so sad, I'm gonna give you a nice big bowl of porridge. So big, so large, so many nutrients in that bowl of porridge I'm gonna give you. So you give him one bowl of porridge. Okay, right? So there's one bowl here, right? One bowl. And so because he recognizes that you gave him this large, extra large bowl of porridge, because he's always here in this kitchen here, in the soup kitchen, and he knows the size that you're supposed to give, and you filled it up all the way to the top. He's like, oh my God, thank you, madame. Thank you so much for your porridge, your kindness. You're such a kind person. And he goes back and he eats up his porridge. He's so hungry. Look at his small stomach. He's so hungry. And then he comes back and he sneaks back again in line, right? And then he says, madame, you know it's been so long since I've last eaten, and I'm so appreciative that you would fill my bowl up to the top. Do you think I can have just one more bowl of porridge, please? Just one more bowl. I'm so hungry. I'm so starving. I'm so small and little. And you say, oh my God, this is such a cute little boy. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more bowl of porridge, you little rumster. Okay, I'll give you one more bowl. And so you give him another bowl and you fill it to the top because you're like, oh my God, he's such a cute kid. I want to take him home. I want to eat him. I want to put him in my stomach. And he eats the next bowl of porridge. And then he comes back again and he says, look, I know I'm so small and I'm so, I'm so hungry and I look like I'm malnutritioned. But I brought my friend here. And I told him about how you're so kind and you're so generous that you gave me an extra portion of porridge. And I was just wondering, could you give my friend here just the smallest extra bowl of porridge? Maybe, please, I'm dead. We're so hungry. We're so starving. Please. And you're like, oh my God. Okay. Look, we can't keep doing this. I'm going to give you one more bowl of porridge. And then the supervisor comes around and he says, hey, what have you been doing? We're about to end here at the end of the shift. We still got 30 more people to feed. And there's not enough portions of porridge for everyone else in the soup kitchen. What have you been doing? I brought you here to serve these people so everyone can eat. And now we have people going hungry. They're going to be growling. They're going to be starving. Look at this kid. This is a 3-month-old baby. How are they going to eat? Oh, man. You're fired. It's a soup kitchen, but you're fired. It's a volunteer job, but you're fired. Okay? Get out of here. You're supposed to portion this out so everyone can get porridge. And so you're walking out and then you're looking at the kid in the corner there after he's eaten his 4th bowl of porridge that you've given him and his friend. And you're like, you stupid little boy, I shouldn't have given you any porridge. So what's my point here? Okay, I know we're having some fun. What's my point here? Boys are like boys, okay? Like the boy in our example here. Meaning, when they realize that you're playing the nice role, you want to be caring. You want to be considerate. You want to be, have him like you and want you to, and you want to show him your appreciation. So you give him that extra large bowl of porridge, right? Meaning you give him more access to you than you know he really deserves. And you think that when you do that for him, he's going to appreciate you more for giving him that increasing amount of access, that larger bowl of porridge. But all he does when he realizes you've given him a larger, extra large bowl of porridge is he realizes that this is an opportunity to take a mile. You know the saying, right? Give someone an inch and they'll take a mile. Men also recognize that with you. And especially in the beginning, when they see how much you like them, how much you want them, how much you want to be with them and make this work because they're so handsome, they're so beautiful, they're so awesome that you couldn't help yourself but want them. And then when you give them that extra large portion, when you go back on some of those rules that you've been having, some of the things that you wanted to implement, some of the boundaries that you've always had, because this is the one guy that you like, they say, oh, perfect. This is the exact type of woman I can come back for another bowl of porridge and another bowl of porridge and another bowl of porridge until she's empty. Okay? And so what do they end up doing? They end up pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope. Because men, despite what they might say they want, or how amazing they might say they are, or how relaxed they say that they are, they will always try and push and see how far they can get. And if you're in a place where you're only thinking about how to take care of him and not how to take care of yourself, you'll be giving. And you might start off just giving a little bit. And then he'll say, perfect, I'll take a little bit more. And then you'll give a little bit more. He's such a nice guy. Then he'll take a little bit more until finally he's taken all of you, physically and mentally and emotionally. And by the time he's taken all of you, only afterwards do you realize, oh, damn, I messed up here. What do I do here? Okay. So why do I say that? Because part of the reason that men will fall in love with you when you don't sleep with them is because they're naturally inclined to push the envelope. When they see that pushing the envelope with you, asking for 1 bowl and 2 bowls and 3 bowls doesn't work, they have more respect for you. When they have more respect for you, they approach you differently. Now, I'll warn you, some men will realize that you have respect for yourself and you actually stand up for yourself and you're not just going to give away all your bowls of porridge because he's a starving little boy. And when they realize that, they say, oh, I won't even bother with her because I'm not even here for real anyways. But the men that approach you and actually are curious enough to get to know you, when you don't give away your bowls of porridge because he looks like such a sad little hungry little boy, you end up having those men continue to invest in you because they always desire to invest in you. But even with their desire to invest in you, they still were going to push the envelope. I know that sounds kind of strange. How can a guy like me and be willing to invest in me, but still push the envelope? It's because they always want to see just how far can they get. How much can they creep themselves up to the line before you say swipe or no swiping? Okay, that's a reference to Dora. And when you say swipe or no swiping, they'll go, okay, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with you saying no, and I'm okay with you telling me no. And for some men, what you're going to realize is when you say no, you might think, oh my God, this is going to ruin everything. But when you say no, he's just going to say, okay, I was just creeping up and inching up just to see when you were going to say no. And then once you said no, I was like, oh, okay, no, it's no worries. That's fine, right? I'm still here. I just wanted to see, but I'm still here, okay? I know it sounds strange because you're thinking, why are they testing me? Despite the fact that they're actually open to being with me and building a relationship with me, I don't make the rules, okay? But they will test you because they just want to see, are you going to give away the extra bowl of porridge? Because if you are, today could be a great day for him, right? And his friends maybe. Hopefully not. But you get my gist. And that's what I kind of want to break down for you guys in this here. Because you're actually doing men a favor in not sleeping with them despite what they might tell you they want. And despite how amazing they say it would be if you were so honest with them and upfront with them. Truthfully and honestly, men don't want you to be upfront with them. They want you to pace them. They want you to say no to them. They want you to have self-respect, all the things that they won't ask for. Because when they ask for that, that's only going to make their life harder. But that's actually what they need out of a relationship in order to properly invest in you and grow their desire and attachment for you. Okay? As weird as it sounds. We might have a whole show about this. But really, for men, in the process of pursuing sex, they find love. Because when they're pursuing sex and they're trying to get that because of their attraction and their desire to jackrabbit themselves inside women, they meet women and then in the process of meeting them, they get to know them, have conversation with them, those women pace them, and then they realize, oh, she's an amazing woman all around. Not just her dump truck, not just her yitties, but her whole mind, body, and soul. And then by the time they do sleep with you, they're like, oh, you're so much more than that anyways, and I'm so much more invested in our relationship than just sleeping with you at that point. Sounds strange, right? But it is kind of what happens with the men, right? Now, do you guys have any questions about the 6 points that we just discussed here today? Sorry for the little technical difficulties with the coins, but are we all aware of this, and does this make sense to all of us, and why this is so important, all these 6 points? By the way, if you guys missed any of the points that we just discussed here today, don't you worry. Don't you worry. They're all available for those of you who are on TikTok. They're all available on my YouTube channel. All you got to do is go up to the top right corner of the screen there. Go over to my YouTube channel and type in my name, obviously. That's why I'm pointing to the top right corner. Type in my name, Tomisin, and you'll see me live there. You can rewind all the points and rewatch them for as long as you need to get all the information that was important to you if you missed any of it, okay? So it'll always be available to you, right? Just go into the live section. By the way, if any of you guys have a private question for me, like you have a question you want me to answer and your situation is so specific about your, situationship or your relationship with a guy, and you want to get my opinion, you want to get my advice directly from me, you go over to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, and you can click where it says private relationship advice. And you can send me in a message, type it out as long as you want. You can be a keyboard warrior. You send in your message to me and I will respond with a voice message back to you and I'll send it to your email, okay? And that doesn't take me very long. I'm pretty caught up on my questions. Just have a few more to do today. But yeah, so do that if you really want my specific advice on your specific situation, because I know sometimes in the chat it's hard to put all the details of your message. Also, if you want to be part of our Discord time, which comes at the end of the show where I answer a whole bunch of messages, but I answer them live on the show, go ahead and drop your question into our Discord, Players Club Discord, which is available in the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Click where it says our Discord, join the Discord, and then drop your question in our relationship advice forum there. And I'll get it answered at the end of the show, okay? Now, questions about this. Juju says, I can help with the emotional advices related to women. Okay. Someone says, what man wants you, but their actions say otherwise? What do you mean, what man? A lot of men, right? A lot of men will say they want you, but then their actions will say very differently, okay? Someone says, great guy with stable job and high income. He made me feel, I think he meant to say, feel so loved. But when I said I'm waiting till marriage, he seemed unmotivated and I left. Okay, so actually this is a good point, Lidu, that you brought up. I don't advise, I know this is gonna sound really sneaky. I don't personally advise any of you to be in the business of telling all of your secrets. What I mean by that is, if you come into a relationship or a situation where you say, I'm not gonna sleep with you until 3 months, 4 months, whatever months, till marriage. What I would rather you do than just say that at the very beginning, I would rather you just stick to your guns here, okay? The reason I say stick to your guns is because by the time you tell men, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that, one, it becomes like a challenge. So they press you to try to see if they can get you to not do that, right? Or to change how you were going to approach the situation. And then number two, it just becomes a situation where it starts to feel like you versus him instead of both of you working towards the same goal, okay? And it's better for you to just enjoy the relationship. And if there is a boundary that you have to set, you set the boundary and just set it, okay? Another way we actually had a whole show about how to avoid sleeping with men. You can do it without saying, hey, I'm waiting till marriage. But you just have to be strategic about not putting yourself in a position where he can start to make moves on you. And then obviously, even if he did, then obviously you have to set the boundary. But your boundary doesn't have to be, hey, I'm not sleeping with you until marriage. It can just be no. Okay? Like, I actually don't want to do this type of thing. But the way to avoid having to be in that situation, even better than that, is by not putting yourself in a place where you're drunk at his house, laying in his bed, just cuddling, watching a movie. Like, that's like, it's going to be very hard to set boundaries then. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Oh, by the way, let me answer some of these donations here. Donations in the YouTube chat. Great Fortune Cookie, who always donates, very generous, donates in the YouTube. I don't know what currency that is, the DKK, but Great Fortune Cookie donates. How do I stay in the position of power even after sleeping with him after 3 months? Or is the power switch inevitable after giving Cookie? So theoretically, yes, the power switch is obviously going to be inevitable once you do sleep with him, because now that he's gotten something from you, he's in a little bit more control. But remember how we talked about investment at the, earlier in the show? After a while of investing in you, and after a while of seeking out sleeping with you, but actually getting to know you in the process, what happens is men get to a certain point where they say, okay, I've invested 3, 4, 5 months of my life into this woman. Am I really just gonna sleep with her and then all of a sudden do a switch up? Right? The other thing that happens, right, because they've invested so much, the other thing that happens is after a certain point of not being able to get access to you, it becomes a situation where if they, I'm trying to think of how to say this in a way that makes sense. After not being able to sleep with you for so long, they get to a place where they say, okay, I can't continue to invest time and energy here if I know I'm unserious. So the longer you spend waiting for this time to come, the longer you can actually kind of ensure that when you do sleep with him, things aren't going to drastically change because you get an opportunity to see what he's really like, what he's really about, and you also get an opportunity to see him in different lights and in different ways and in different circumstances and situations. Because as time passes, you're going to come across things and experience things with him that are more than just spending a dinner date with him. You understand what I'm saying? And the more things you can do, this is a little bit of a pro tip chat, the more things you can do with a man that's more than just going on a dinner date with him, the better. Because when you get to experience him in different ways, especially when you get to see him interact with other people, like his friends, like his family, okay? One of the great things to do, if you really want to know what a man is really like, hang out with him and his guy friends. Even if it's just you only tagging along, right? Because then you'll get an opportunity to see how he interacts with his guy friends. That will tell you a lot about who he really is. I helped someone the other day that was in a private question that literally she sent me in her question. I won't go into too much detail, but one of the guys that she was talking to got on speakerphone in the car with one of his guy friends. And when they were on speakerphone, his guy friend started making some distasteful jokes about women and I'll just say things about them. All right. And she realized when he was just laughing and just saying, oh, it's not that serious, she realized what that guy was really about. Okay. After hearing how his friend talks so freely, as if that's something that they talk about all the time. And so it gave her a little bit more insight as to what he's about. And then she eventually broke up with him, right? But that will always give you more clues and hints to a person and give you more context to a person as well. Okay, Katie G donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, thank you, Tomisin, for all your amazing content. Thank you. You guys are so generous in the YouTube chat today. I don't know what you guys are experiencing today. Maybe you're just feeling the Christmas spirit. Beehive donates $5 in the YouTube chat as a super sticker. Thank you so much. Olga donates 20 euros in the YouTube chat, and she just sends in a super sticker. Thank you so much to all of you that donated. Very, very generous, and obviously you guys were donating in the TikTok chat as well. Thank you for that. All right. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. We're going to hop into our next segment of the day here, which is going to be our React segment. Now, our React segment is where all of you send me in TikTok videos about relationships and love and life, and I react to them live on the show, and we have a little bit of a discussion about that, right? And it's going to be lots of fun. We're going to laugh a lot, all right? So while I prepare for that and I clean up this board here, we're going to watch a little bit of an intermission video. So that you're not just watching me clean up the board. I know some of you might like watching me clean up the board, but we're not doing that type of show today. And we're going to watch an intermission video from Matt Boggs. Matt Boggs is going to be talking about if you're stuck in a relationship, how to get him to commit. Once I finish cleaning up, I'm going to come back. It's only going to take me about a minute, and we will have our Reacts segment. All right, Mr. Matt Boggs, please take.
Excuse to hit you up. You know, it's Thanksgiving, so, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving and let you know I'm still thankful for you, even though we ain't together no more. Like, hey, Father God, why do you still have my number? Why are you still contacting me? Like, bitch, let it go. Move on. What you thought this was? Motherfuckers love using...
What is going on today? What was that alarm? Did you guys hear that? What was that?
A holiday for an excuse to hit you up. You know, it's Thanksgiving, so, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving and let you know I'm still thankful for you, even though we ain't together no more. Like, hey, Father God. What?
How does she do so many accents in one thing? But yeah, hopefully, I wanted to ask you. I think I asked you guys this before. I like to gauge things around this time of the holidays and like Christmas. It's supposed to be family time. Someone said the men are trying to stop you. Literally, think how much they're trying to sabotage the show because we're on here and we're enjoying time and we're learning. That's how you know. I'm giving you some good information when they try to stop us. What was I gonna say? I want to gauge around Christmas time, even though it's supposed to be family time. Do you feel more lonelier around this time because you're around family, right? Or does that make you feel like your life is so full that you don't really think about relationships as much as you would if you were, lonely during the summertime or something like that? I want to see in here, and I want to kind of gauge what it is. If it's more, so tell me, more lonely during this time of the year, Christmas time, or less lonely in the chat. I want to see where you guys are at mentally during this time of the year. Okay.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear another absolutely disgusting secret about men that they definitely do not want you to know? And as usual, this is an absolutely foolproof method, so please pay attention and do not tell anybody that I told you. If you are currently in any type of situation or you are dating a man, when you are first getting to know a man and you guys start liking each other more and eventually that leads into dating and whatever and you're building trust, this man's loyalty is limitless. And as long as he still views you on the pedestal that he's put you on in his head, which is
I have no idea what that sound is, chat, so you're going to have to forget. I hear it in my headphones, but I don't know what that sound is. That is the weirdest thing. I don't know what it's doing.
How a lot of men view relationships, he is going to continue being as loyal as possible. However, and here's your disgusting secret of the day, if you do this man wrong, I don't even want to go to the extreme of saying cheating, but if something happens, this man is going to think he has the strength to forgive you, and he doesn't. In the case that he really likes you, he is going to want to try so hard to forgive you, and he will never be able to get the thing that you, whatever, out of his mind. And he will continue for the duration of you guys knowing each other, the relationship, whatever it is, to resent you. Because we are unfortunately loyal to a fault. In a lot of cases, it's very good. And in the case of someone doing us wrong or that we deem to be done wrong, we're never forgiving you. Even if through our words we say we want to, we're not capable of that. Oh, hey.
Did he just eat that with the skin on? Is that okay? All right. But one thing that I'll advise you of, because we all make mistakes, right? So obviously we talk about men, but obviously you can make mistakes as well. You're a human being. We all make mistakes. Here's the thing that can be dangerous, though, is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're dating someone or talking to someone, and maybe you're off your rocker a little bit and you say some things wrong or you do some things you're a little bit ashamed of, and he forgives you in a way that you feel is a little bit unnatural or you don't feel like you actually served any sort of punishment for what you did to him. What can happen sometimes, and this is something that you should be paying attention to in relationships, men can start to make a mental note of that and say, okay, I'll continue to be with her, but I'll pay her back in this over the course of time. And I'll forgive her, but instead of losing my mind on her, I'll just, do my own, right? And I'll one up her. And I'll make sure for the rest of this time, she'll pay for doing this to me. Sometimes that can happen in a big sense. Sometimes that can happen in a smaller sense, but it does happen. So it's just something to be thinking about when you're in situations like that, where maybe you might do something crazy and then the response is like, oh, whatever, I'll just forgive you type of thing.
You only married once, though. Are you picky?
Once was enough.
You're picky about men.
I'm very choosy about friends. I'm very choosy about people. I love people.
Chat, who is this? I don't know who this actor or singer is. Who is that?
But I'm very choosy because I prefer to be alone rather than to be around people who are trashy.
I think, but don't you frighten men?
You have to ask them.
Well,
I'm asking you.
Are they about to kiss? What's going on here?
Yes. Yes, I think you frighten men. I think a man would sort of...
Isn't this... Wait, what's going on here? I thought isn't this supposed to be a talk show? What's going on here?
Why did you leave Hollywood? Why did you leave
Nobody
Hollywood?
for me to play with. I am not black enough to be considered black, and I'm not white enough to be considered white, and therefore I don't fit in anywhere, and I don't...
Someone said Eartha Kitt. What does she act in? What movies? People said she's an. Oh, sorry, she's an actress. Actress.
I think I ever want to fit in. I want them to fit into me.
But you're not an easy woman to suit. I mean...
Is any woman easy to suit? Obviously, this is why you men are having a lot of trouble with yourselves.
You think that aggressive women like you cause men like me to shrivel up
To
and
fall
run?
apart
You only married once, though. Are you...
anywhere. And
So, obviously, you know, she's playing it up a little bit. They're on a show, right? So she's trying to be funny. But this is kind of an example of how you can seduce a man in a way that makes him, quote unquote, powerless, right? Now, obviously, your version of this is not going to be as overt and is not going to be as over the top. Obviously, she's kind of playing a little bit of a role here because they're on a show. But the same kind of dynamic you can have with the men that you talk to. I talked to you guys about being like a seductive therapist, a sexy therapist when you're on your dates, where you're listening, but as you're listening, you're doing it in a seductive way where he's talking, but he's like in a trance. And the reason that I want you to do that, because I've seen someone say, you shouldn't be someone's therapist. You shouldn't be a man's therapist. The reason I want you to be that man's therapist, the ones that you're dating, is because you'll always be in a position of power and in a position with more knowledge and information when you're his therapist. Because you'll know so much more about him and how he thinks and what his deep desires are and motivations are, which is information that you can use to your advantage, but also to better understand him and where he's at. And when you better understand him and where he's at, you'll be able to notice any slight changes in his behavior or his thought process, which is also amazing for you. Okay. Way better than not being his therapist and then being in the dark. And then one day he says, oh, by the way, I have a new girlfriend.
Stop arguing with men. Just stop it. I'm here to tell you that he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. I know you're hurt. I know you're
I'll be saying that all the time. They don't care. It's not in a mean way. It's just a waste of your time.
angry. I know you want to let it all out. I know you want to scream and shout.
So you find your friends or you put it in your journal.
He doesn't care. He doesn't give a flying fuck. He doesn't give an ounce of fuck how he hurt you. It doesn't matter how much you explain to him. It doesn't matter how long and the detailed the paragraph is. It doesn't matter how much you reprimand him, how much you insult him. You can't guilt trip him into anything. He doesn't feel bad. Guess what? Because he already knew what he was doing when he did it. I know you think that men are these little lost, unaware creatures who don't know what they're doing, but they're shrewd motherfuckers. They know exactly why they're doing it, and they know exactly what it is that they're doing. It was intentional. He did it on purpose. I know you think that he didn't, but he did.
The other thing that I want to add to is I know that sometimes, we do these things. Trust me, I've been there before thinking, okay, I want to tell someone how I'm hurt. I want to explain to them how I feel. But what do you really think is going to come from that? Do you think when he hears that, he's going to say, oh, wow, I never realized that I hurt you this way. Now that you're telling me all the ways I've hurt you, I'm going to make sure I take a complete 180 and reverse course and change everything about how the way I've been approaching this relationship. No, it just doesn't happen, right? One of two things happens. Either they defend themselves or they defend themselves saying that, oh, how you felt is, I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I didn't mean that. That wasn't my intention, right? Or they gaslight you or tell you that how you feel is invalid, okay? That you shouldn't have taken it that way. All a waste of your time.
He did it on purpose. He wanted to hurt you. Even if he didn't care how his actions are going to affect you. He didn't. And I know you want to make him understand, but he already understands. He already understands. He knows. They know. That is why you never see any men in my comment section. Because as soon as I receive one, I'm blocked. Bye. I'm not going to expand energy.
No, I don't block people. I let them be. People can hate on the videos if they want, but to each his own.
There is no one that will hate you more than the nice guy who doesn't get what he wants.
Or just...
Chat, if you ever see someone hating on me in a comment section, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, you got to defend me, because I ain't going to defend myself. I'm just going to make the next video for you, okay, and all the members of the Players Club. So if you see someone talking crazy about me, you got to be the one to defend me, because I'm making the next video for you. I'm trying to prepare a class for you. I can't be in the comment section, okay? Oops, let me not skip that.
There is no one that will hate you more than the nice guy who doesn't get what he wants.
Or just...
What? Just what? No!
The thing is, nice guys are only nice guys as long as they're getting what they want. My girl was the original woman in male fields, and men really wanted us to villainize her.
Just wanna tell you
Wait, what's happening here? What's happening here?
This was the first woman that I've seen to put her own needs and desires first above a man's. She went against everything that we've been taught as women, that a man's dreams are more important than our own. Summer knew that her life with Tom would be hell. This is the moment she got the ick.
I like you, Tom. I just don't want to release...
Well, you're not the only one that gets a say in this. I do too. And I say we're a couple. God damn it.
Oh my goodness. Everything is always about him. She just knew that he would hold her back. So this is like the unspoken social contract of nice guys. It was really pushed on us through TV and film. This is the way that we were indoctrinated. So they'll offer a woman attention and kindness with the expectation that they're gonna receive love and sex from the woman. Like her recognition. They feel so entitled to that. They're nice guys, they're not like regular guys. They remember a woman's name. Seeing the woman in film reject the nice guy was extremely revolutionary. Of course, she was painted as the villain, because it was really dangerous for the patriarchy to have a woman not fit into the manic pixie dream girl mold and like end up with a nice guy protagonist in the end. Summer took a look at this guy and she was like, you're not even listening to what I'm saying.
And then I wake up.
As he listened, Tom began...
I always personally advise you guys to never make the assumption. So I know we talk about bad guys, evil guys, right? The guys that you want to look out for. But I also tell you guys a lot, and we're going to have a whole show on nice guys. We're going to have a whole show on nice guys. It's either going to be this week or next week. We're going to have a whole show. Because nice guys can also ruin your life. Because they can also waste. We always want your time and energy to be put in the right place and be invested in the right place that will pay you back. You. Okay? We're making you happy. Not making mom, dad happy. Not making brother, sister happy. We're making you happy. So we're going to let you and enforce you to put your energy and time only in places that will repay you. Not in places that for fun, we're having... No. Places that will put you in a better place mentally and physically for your future. That's real happiness, not the silly happiness that they show you in the movies.
My now boyfriend lives with me.
Okay. Why isn't he contributing to rent if he's living there?
So
I'm telling you, chat, one of these days, I've had this idea for a while. I'm going to eventually, the little secret, we're going to eventually transition the show. I'm definitely going to have couples on the show at one point. Okay, we're going to do that. I just got to find the first couple to have on the show. That'll be in the future. But I got a lot of stuff planned.
he moved down from Indiana.
Okay.
And when he moved down, it was with the intentions of he had burnt himself out and just take a little bit of time,
What's
take
his
a
age?
break. 42.
Ooh. Okay. You know, I don't give. Listen, there's a natural shock that comes with it, but it's honestly because of Twitter. They've made everything sound so extreme. You're an adult. I don't give a. This is I must be Twitter brained, like where I have to have a reaction to everything about everyone's adult choices. Whatever. Okay, you live your life. I don't give a.
But he moved down here. With the intention of he was going to take a little bit of break before figuring out what he was going to do down here.
It is a little weird that a 40-year-old's not working.
But we knew that was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen.
Okay, how long has he been here?
End of April.
Okay, how long did we agree he would not be working?
There was not necessarily like an agreement, but there is the factor that beginning of July, I ended up having to take him to the emergency room because what we thought was like really bad flu, maybe pneumonia at the worst, turned out to be a mass in his chest.
Does he have health insurance?
No.
Why?
Because his previous job didn't offer health
It
insurance.
doesn't matter. If he got laid off or something, did he quit?
He's quit to move down here.
He probably could have got on the healthcare exchange.
Oh my God. This makes me feel like I'm in Discord time. Okay. The man quit his own job, the job that was paying him money to move in with you. So what do you have? You just inherited a child. I don't want to get upset.
Changes like $0 a month.
It's not something I have any knowledge about.
It wasn't worth Googling. How do I get health insurance? I have none. Help me. I die.
I think I thought of it more as
him.
Well,
like it says, it's not your responsibility.
No. And that was kind of my thought process. Was it's not my responsibility. I let him handle.
Well, so how's he doing today?
He's doing better. So he ended up in the hospital for the entirety of July, basically. Currently, we're still waiting on results. So right now, he's in the process of applying for Social Security and disability.
How'd you meet him?
Online.
Through what?
Just a website.
What?
I'd prefer not to answer.
Oh, come on.
No.
Fine, you don't have to, but...
Okay, chat, what do you think the website is that she met him on? Because she didn't say app, okay? And I feel like if it was a dating app, she would have just said it. What's the website? What websites can you meet men on? I may not know. Because she didn't say app. She would have said app if she meant an app. I feel like that's what she would have said. So it's a website, clearly. What website can you meet men on?
Very curious. So like sugar daddy, sugar baby site? Okay. Just because, the gap's a bit big. Again, like, I don't give a you live your life, but it's an interesting thing that it wouldn't draw as many red flags if you guys met and you just started dating and it went about there, but met online on a website, dude quit his job, moved down here, hasn't contributed in any way whatsoever, immediately has health concerns. So it's like...
I know, it sounds...
Are you into old dead men because you see them at work every day?
No, the joke has been made many a time.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, it was all happenstance.
Someone said Craigslist. You guys think she met him on Craigslist? That would be... Wow.
Is that not red flags to you? The fact that he's not willing to do anything? What was his job?
He was working at a restaurant.
And he was burnt out from a restaurant? It's not like that. Food service is a pain in the... I get it. But it's less that mental strain still.
Okay. I literally feel like I'm having Discord time flashback. Okay. Where they do that at? That you... Okay. When you hear a man tell you things like, I work... Nothing wrong with working at a restaurant. But, okay, he works at the restaurant. That's his career? Is he working at the restaurant to save money to do something else? Or that's like, just like where he's at right now in life and he doesn't know where the wind is going to blow him next? Because if he's working at this restaurant currently just to make ends meet, that's not really going to work. And I know it sounds very mean, but as a woman, that it needs a protector and provider. If your man doesn't have a plan, if he's not a man with a plan, then he's no man for you at all. I'm not saying that to diss any guys who work at restaurants, but there should be a plan more than just getting paid and working off of tips at the restaurant as a man. Okay. If there's not, there's some problems there. Especially, when you hear that from a man tell you that, and then you hear him say, I'm quitting my job. So what are you going to do now? Work at a restaurant in my area?
It's a more physical beat down. How long were you guys talking before he moved down?
December. So I went up to visit him for the first time in...
Red flags just keep popping up, dude. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's not to be insulting to you. Like, legitimately, there are concerns. Okay.
I know. I've heard it all, trust me.
I'm sure.
Because there was definitely a big to-do when I went up to visit him for the first time. And there was a lot of pushback from my family in regards to me driving up to Indiana to meet a stranger. But
he is confirmed single, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we should obviously get into the finances a bit, but this is certainly, obviously, dramatically affecting it because medical.
We might have to watch an episode of his show on the show together because he actually has a really good show, but his show is about finances. But he does have some couples on there and he talks about finances, but you hear some of their relationship problems in the process. It's very, very interesting. We might have to watch his show together as one of our reaction times. But yeah, quite a situation. It literally reminds me of Discord time. With that being said, those of you who are prepared, you better spam it in the chat because it is that time. It's an amazing time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. Okay? And if you don't know the time, you better not look at your watch. You better not look at your clock. You better not look at your phone, and you better not look nowhere else in your home. Okay? It's a special time. It's an amazing time. And it is indeed a time you will laugh and cry. If you don't know the time, I'm going to tell you the time. Scored time. Yeah. All right, chat. Enough silliness for the day. Let's hop into our Discord time. For those of you who don't know how this works, I'm going to explain it to you real quick. So Discord times where all the amazing members of our Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their situationship or their relationship, and I answer it live on the show, okay? So I'll explain to you the different ways in which you can submit your question to the show here, all right? So the first way is by going into our free relationship advice section here. Now, the way that you access that is by going to our link in my bio on TikTok, or the link in my description on YouTube. Click where it says Discord, and then you drop in your question here to the free section. Now, OnlyFans models. Oh boy, we have to, okay, all right. Now, you see there's some that I haven't answered yet. Oh my gosh, you guys have so many during the weekend. I have to get to those first before I can get to yours if you drop yours in today, but I will tell you, if you don't want to wait your turn and you want to be able to skip the line, we also have an option, which is our premium Discord relationship advice, okay? Now, this forum here is only for people who are trying to skip the line and don't want to wait their turn, okay? The way you access that is by going into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Click where it says premium Discord relationship advice. And here is where you donate to the show. You donate to the show, you put in the title of your username and the title of your question. And then that way I'm able to get a notification on my phone, see that that's you, verify that's you. And then when we hop into our Discord section, I know that that's your question and that you have donated to the show for it. And you're supposed to be here to be skipping the line. Okay, so that's how I keep it fair for everyone. Now, you can also send in your question by going into the link. You can also send in a private question to me if you don't want to have your question be read out on the show and your information be on the show. This is another way to send in your question to me and get advice from me through our private relationship advice link. That link's available in my TikTok bio or the link in my description on YouTube. When you click that link, you send me in a question, you type it out. I send you back a voice message and I send it to your email. And no one else sees your question except for me, so you can say all of your own private information there. All right? Let's hop into our first premium question. We got lots to do today. Oh, boy. Okay, so our first one comes from Sis, a.k.a. Anna, okay? I'm sure a lot of you have missed her. So here she is back again. Instagram Reel problem. Hey, Thompson, I was scrolling through Instagram Reels for once. I saw liked by my boyfriend, okay, on the first reel attached. So I was extra sweet to him that day because I thought it was cute, okay? When I was home, I scrolled further and WTF. Why did he like the second and third one? He can't say it's not about me because the videos are all posted after our first date. Oh, so you've seen the date of the video. Okay. I never double texted him, so I don't know what he means liking this particular reel. I'm so surprised. He was so sweet yesterday and bought me a season pass on skiing, and we went skiing and snowboarding together. And later after, he dropped me off at my parents' place where we were going to dinner, and I recognized his sports car and waved at him. So he devised a plan to slowly let me know about him. Wait, what? Let them know about me. Sorry. I am not here to waste time because if he can't stand me, is that what the reel says? If he can't stand me, then why am I in a relationship with him? I'm dating this guy to marry him. Looking back, I was too busy being lovey-dovey yesterday. Like we were talking about types, and I said that my type was exactly him, and he said the same about me. I mean, he's your boyfriend. And he also asked if I would leave him if my parents didn't approve of his religion. And I said, no, I'd be sad if I had to. That doesn't, saying no, I'd be sad if I had to. That doesn't, okay. I said more ooey stuff. I think you meant just like lovey-dovey stuff. But I'm embarrassed to even type it out. What did you say? What did you say? Looking back, I am barfing at the way I was talking because I hate ooey and showing affection. You hate that? You hate that? Okay, that's a different conversation for another day, but okay. So these are the reels I'm assuming that he was liking. So this is a reel. Says, me staring at her, knowing she's either going to be the girl I marry or my biggest heartbreak. Okay, so he liked that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Chat, let me know. I'm a man. So if your man liked any of these, would you have tell me, for each one that we go through, tell me, problem or no problem in the chat. Let me know. Is this gonna, because I'm not sure how this is a problem. I mean, I get what it's saying, but how is that a problem to like it? Okay, so problem or no problem. Second one, so he says, or this reel or this video or post, when you can't stand your girl anymore. Problem or no problem, chat, which, okay, that one I'll acknowledge for myself. Yeah, that would, that's kind of strange. To like that is kind of strange. Yeah. The third one here, he's liked all of these. Okay, you're confirming he's liked all of these. When it's 2:38 a.m. and none of these O's are replying back. Okay. Okay. This is not good. This is quite strange. Okay. Let's see what the other ones are. When y'all both cheating. This is actually taking a quite dark turn. I thought these were gonna be pretty lighthearted here. I don't really honestly have an explanation why someone would. Okay. You know what? Let me try and put my brain in a different body. Maybe the reel itself is really funny. So maybe he's liking it because of the comedy aspect to the reel, not the relatability aspect of the reel. Chat, do you agree or disagree? Do you sometimes like reels that don't necessarily like correlate or relate to your exact lifestyle right now, but it's just so funny that on its own, it's likable? I have to play devil's advocate because multiple things could be happening, okay? And I don't want to make assumptions about things that we have no real proof on. So this is a quite strange thing to like, but we didn't get to watch the video, so maybe it's really funny, right? Let's look at the next one. Oh, it's Future, so that's never good. When she was acting bougie and playing hard to get, but now she double texting. This one I might go a little bit more on the, okay, it's probably more about the relatability, because I'm assuming if it's a video of Future, I'm looking, it looks like blonde dreads there, or just a random guy. It looks more just like a random, one of those dancing videos, and they just put whatever they want on the screen. So there's no funny or comedic aspect to the video outside of it being relatable, if that makes any sense. So maybe he's actually talking about his own relationship that he has or is having with you. Go have fun with your other O's. Me a few hours later. I can't defend all of these. I won't lie. I can't defend all of these. Some of these are quite strange. I won't lie. Because there's a theme. So outside, okay, if this was like a one-off, I would say, okay, maybe you're reading into it a little bit much. But the theme, if he's really liked all of these, and okay, if you're saying he's liked all of these since you guys have been talking, and you can verify that all of these have been posted after you started talking to him and seeing him, this is I won't lie, this is quite strange. Okay. Let's see here. Wow. Me watching my homie get smacked by his girlfriend for liking another girl's pics. I sent him her profile. Okay, we're starting to lean a little bit away from relatable, and Ju just said it in the TikTok chat. This is like so specific. And like, I don't even like, I've never seen memes like this. I be scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. I've never seen memes like this. This is like really, really specific. It's like saying, when your girl come home and she's wearing, these nice pair of jeans, and, she's wearing red heels, and when she says your name, and your name is Tomisin, and then she puts her hand on your head and she strokes your neck. Isn't that so it's like, that's so specific. That's like so specific. That's not even relatable at that point. When you follow the 10 out of 10 on IG and she follow, okay. I won't lie, you're a little bit cooked here. These are all posts that he's liked. Is there more? No, there's no way. When she pulls the go text your O's, but the O said go text your little girlfriend, so now I'm genuinely confused and don't know what to. I won't lie. You're kind of cooked here. I won't lie. This is very weird. This is very weird. I took some ashwagandha. What is going on? Where did the ashwagandha come from? For those of you that don't know, ashwagandha is a little pill. I actually take ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a little pill. It's not nothing medical or anything like that. Ashwagandha just helps with, boosting your testosterone levels. I wouldn't say boosting testosterone levels. What it does is it lowers your cortisol, so your stress hormone, and that inherently boosts your energy, boosts your testosterone levels, helps you do better in the gym, lift more weights, and it's also a libido booster. Okay, so that's the reason a lot of people use it. It helps you, stimulates you a lot. Okay, I'll tell you, it definitely works. Ashwagandha works. So I think I can think logically and not with emotions. Because it's lowering your cortisol, you're less stressed out. And now I remembered something important. Last month I was telling him about how my best friend saw the guy she was talking to had a reel about wanting to re-download dating apps, and I told him the advice I gave her, which was to block him and move on. He was treating her so bad the whole time, and this was just the final straw. So my boyfriend was shocked, his eyes widened, scared, and he was like, just for liking a reel? Excuse me, what if he just thought it was funny? So now thinking back, he might have only liked those because he thought they were funny, because all of the rude reels were posted a long time ago when we were still in the talking stage, 5 to 6 months ago. So he could have liked them a long time ago. Okay, fair. So let's just assume the ones that were really kind of suspect, like really specific about a really specific situation, maybe those were the ones from a long time ago, like you said. But the ones that were just funny, like we were talking about earlier, he liked because they were funny. The most recent reels were posted 1 to 2 to 3 months ago that he liked were ooh-wee attached below. So maybe he changed the reels he liked after I told him the thing with my best friend. I feel that makes more sense, but he could have liked bad ones recently for all I know. Okay, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. I want to kind of get to your message here. So this is the ones that he has been liking. So these are a little bit more romantic. He's definitely a real liker, okay? So I could see when I asked about his ex and he talked about how she cheated, in his face, his demeanor changed to a hurt one. I could see the sadness in his eyes when I asked about her cheating and he was telling me about it. She has begged for him back before and he blocked her everywhere. I'm still hurt about the can't stand your girl reel, though, because why is he with me if he can't stand me? What are your opinions? Should I do something about it? Okay, so for you, clearly Instagram has become an ongoing issue. Okay, you're in a place where asking him to stop liking reels is not actually going to solve your problem. Okay, so that's kind of the problem. It bothers you, but it's not actually going to help you get to where you want to go, which is understanding why he's liking these things. So my advice to you is, I think before you go to him and tell him to stop liking reels, I want you to start observing if any of these things are true in his everyday life. So you mentioned that he does follow a lot of girls, but I think you mentioned that a lot of them either follow him back or maybe there are only a few that don't follow him back. But maybe this might be a time to start taking notice of certain things. Like, for example, if you're always with him and every time you're with him, his phone is on Do Not Disturb, okay, take notice of that. When you're not with him, right, do you know what his schedule is, right? If you don't, what is he doing during that time? Take notice of that. Another thing you can take notice of is when it comes to how he goes about stuff on Instagram, something interesting that I don't want to be toxic here. You're going to have to start getting good at being sneaky in terms of seeing what he's doing on the Instagram, okay? The reason I say that is because you can't actually confirm anything here, right? You also said he hasn't followed a girl since we started dating, okay? Which is a good thing. You can't actually confirm anything, which is the problem here. And that's why I'm in a conundrum in terms of giving you advice here. Because if you let him know too soon that you're onto him, the problem is if he's doing something sneaky, actually, he'll just stop doing the thing that's leading you onto him. So you don't want to tell him that you're catching on to something he's doing weird before you can actually have hard evidence that he's doing something actually weird. Because him liking reels, yeah, it's uncomfortable for you, but what are you going to say? You're liking reels, so you're cheating? That's not good enough. You have to really catch him in the act of doing something. So I know that this is going to be advice you don't want to hear, but you're going to have to just continue to be observant and see if you are able to gather more information as time continues. So obviously you see the reels that he's liked. See if any of those things you're starting to notice in your relationship with him, in his responses, in his reactions, and the way he goes about things. Because that will start to lead you in a direction of finding more and more clues. Now, obviously, I never advise you to go crazy and be an FBI agent looking for all the Scooby-Doo clues. But if you're starting to notice some red flags, there's nothing wrong with getting more curious and observant. But at the point you're at now, there is no... I would never be able to advise you to just go up to him and say, stop liking those reels. I know what you're doing, or that's inappropriate. Because then what is he going to say? Oh, I liked those reels a long time ago. Oh, I didn't mean to like those reels. Oh, that's literally nothing. And then what are you going to say? Right? You're going to have to basically say, oh, I don't know what to do now. I don't know where to go now. I didn't catch you doing anything. Right? So you're going to have to keep observing now for now. All right? Let's go into our next question here. Right. Our next question comes from Maya X6. Okay. So Maya says, boyfriend, ? Hi, Tomisin. I'm 29 and was dating a 20-year-old man. What do you mean was? You're either dating him or you're not. What do you mean was? Why you keep saying present and past tense? What? Okay. You're already bothering me. We're on like sentence 1. What do you mean? I have and had been seeing this guy for 1.5 months. You've either seen him for 1.5 months or you're still seeing him now. Which one is it? We had great dates and laughed so much each time and got along well. He seemed, you're going to say he seemed and he seems to be, right? At the same time. He seems to be very intentional with me. At the end of each date, he'd always ask when he could see me next. We texted about it once or twice a day. So within 1.5 months, right? Okay. We texted once or twice a day. I wanted to keep texting at a minimum. Okay. One day on Thursday, the week after our second date, he left me on red, and Friday I didn't hear from him. Okay, you're okay. That's only the second date. That's not a crime. We had a date planned for Sunday. Okay, so the date was already planned. My choice because wait, what do you mean my choice? Because I was already busy Saturday. So he asked you, and you said okay because I can only do Sunday. Okay, I hope that's what you mean. Not you made the date. I messaged him to break off whatever we had and told him he seemed too busy. Oh boy, and we should stop talking. Oh boy, you done messed it up. Maya, you done messed it up, girl. You done messed it up. You've been talking to this man for, you said 1.5 months. This was after your second date. After your second date, he leaves you on red for 1 day. For 1 day. And you tell him after 1 day that you're breaking it off because he's too busy for you. You have to understand presentation and framing is a lot of dating. Meaning, when you go out on a date, you might be amazing, have an amazing dump truck, amazing yitty, super, super smiley, super looking like a supermodel. Everything's super about you. You're super everything. But if you don't make sure to curate the way that he views you and sees you when you start dating him from the very beginning, because he doesn't know everything you've been, you might make the mistake of presenting yourself or coming across in a way that isn't how you want him to view you, because his perception of you will affect how he treats you. And the reason I say that is because in a situation like this, where you're telling him after 1 day of messaging him that, 1 day of him not messaging you, that he's too busy for you, what you're implying is, I spend my entire day messaging you and waiting for you to message me back. So if there's a scenario in which you're not talking to me, my life is so boring, I have nothing to do, I sit around, I look up at the wall, and I watch paint dry because my life is so boring, gray, lifeless, and uninteresting that if there's ever a moment in my life where you're not there, I will literally lose my ability to have anything interesting going on in my life. That communicates to him that you have little to no value. Because if you did have value, other people would be asking for your time, you would be spending your time in other places, and you would be doing other things with your life and your energy other than sitting around and waiting for him to message you. So telling him that he's too busy for you is actually, you're thinking that you're like addressing something or calling him out. What you're actually doing is saying, I'm valueless and worthless. And I need you to love me because of how valueless and worthless I am. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I'm just telling you what you're actually communicating by saying that. And his response to you will be to say, damn, I didn't know you were that valueless and worthless. I don't even know if I want you anymore if you're that valueless. Right? A couple of hours later, he messaged and said he was sorry that he wasn't light. What do you mean? What? That he wasn't light. I think he meant to say right when he said he wanted to get to know me more. I don't understand that he wasn't light. What does that mean? He mentioned before in that week that he was working in the U.S. I think he meant to say part-time. Sorry, I think also he was working in U.S. time. We're in Korea. He said that he would be done soon, and sorry he made me feel that way. Okay. At the end of our next date, he asked me to be his girlfriend. So this is date number 3. I said yes, but told him no kissing for 1 month. So then, okay. Let me not go crazy. Let me just get up and stretch. I don't want to go crazy. 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 I'm just going to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to stretch. I don't want to go crazy. What are you doing? Okay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with not being okay with kissing. Nothing wrong with setting boundaries. But let's get some things straight here, okay? When you date someone, there's an order of operations here, okay? Meaning, you start in one place first, you do those things, then you move on to the next thing. You shouldn't be doing certain things until you've done the thing that must be finished and accomplished first before. Why does that matter? In relationships, it's the same thing. If you're in a place where you don't feel like you should be kissing him, okay? Whether it be because, it be because that's just an overall boundary for you, or you're punishing him for something that he's done wrong in the situation, you should not be escalating your relationship to dating them when you're not even ready to kiss them. Because that's going to be a very strange place to be in, where you're supposed to be romantically involved with someone and there's no romance there. There's no intimacy there. Doesn't mean that just because you're dating someone, you have to sleep with them. But if you're not even ready to kiss them, then the dynamic's going to be kind of shifted. Assuming you're not Muslim or some sort of a religion in which part of your religion is you don't kiss until you're engaged. Because I know for the Muslim community, if you're really strict Muslim, you're not even supposed to be kissing until you're actually engaged, okay? But assuming it's not that, then there's an order of operations. If you're not ready to kiss, then you're probably not so ready to be dating either, okay? Just word of advice. So this is quite strange, and I hope you're not using this to punish him, because that's not going to work either. He seemed quite surprised at that. The week after this, he said he wasn't feeling so good and ended up canceling our date, but asked if we could meet on a weekday. I said sure, whenever he's feeling better. He suggested Wednesday, but he said he still wasn't feeling good. We planned it, but I didn't hear from him, so I messaged if the date was still on. But he sent a picture and said he was in the hospital. Okay. I said, I hope he feels better soon. I then didn't get a message from him, and then it was Saturday, and we didn't have a date planned. Okay. I messaged Saturday night. All I said was Ryan, ? And a few days later, he messaged me asking if I had some time tomorrow. You're not supposed to be doing last minute dates. We met on Sunday and I pretended everything was fine. And the date went well. We laughed as usual, but he looked a bit sick. What's going on here? Why are you not asking questions? Why was he in the hospital? What is going on? At the end of the date, he didn't ask when he wanted, he didn't ask when he wanted to meet next. And we had a long hug. I didn't send any message after the date, and then he messaged on Tuesday asking how I am, and I said I was fine, and we talked about my cat. I then didn't hear from him since Tuesday. It's now Monday, 6 days later. I messaged on a Saturday to break up. I said I don't think things will work out. He still hasn't read my messages from Tuesday or Saturday. Is he still alive? What's going on? Is he focused on the work he missed while sick? He said he didn't work all week and the doc suggested he get surgery. Surgery on what? He had a chronic otitis? What is this? What is chat? I'm not a medical expert. What is this? Chronic otitis media. What is that? What is that? What is that? I have no idea what that is. Ears. It's an ear infection. Okay. But said, you guys are so smart. You're so much smarter than me. But he said that he wasn't sure when he would do the surgery. Okay. He said the medications were strong and didn't let him keep food down. Could it be his health work? Do you think he is trying to break up? Also, we met on an app that exclusively is for rich people. I'm not rich. He's the CEO. What's that app called? It's called Raya, right? Am I right? Chat, that app that all the rich and famous and people with money go on. It's called Raya or something like that. Okay, so this man has a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be there for, like, I'm not saying you should be someone where you're like, okay, if you can't serve me, then I'm not going to be here for you. But it just seems like there's a lot going on in his life. And for whatever reason, he's just not able to like have his sole focus on you or dating you, or at least give it enough focus where you're not confused, because I'm confused. And I think everyone in the chat is also confused. The reason I say that, though, is because at a certain point, you have to realize, like, when it comes to you being the woman and the guy courting you and dating you, if he has a whole lot of stuff going on in his life and he's just not able to date you, you have to just realize that that's the case and not try to like force him to be ready to date you. I'm not saying that that's, oh, someone even mentioned this. That's quite strange, actually. Shade said because he is 20. He's 20 and he's a CEO. What is he a CEO of? CEO of his house? He can't even be the CEO of his house. He can't even drink yet if he lives in the United States. What is he the CEO of at 20? Anyways, so the reason I just say that, though, is clearly this guy has a lot going on. That doesn't make him necessarily a bad person, but if his a lot going on is putting him in a position where he can't be focused on you, then at a certain point, you just got to be like, okay, like this is not going to work out. Because what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be the one asking him out on dates and reaching out to him. He's still going to say, oh, I don't have time, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And he's probably got to tend to his old business. He's the CEO, right? Fortune 500 company at 19, 20 years old. He's probably got a lot to tend to. So CEO of whatever the F, he's got to go tend to this. He's got to also do his ear infection and figure that out. So I think what's best for him to do and you is to allow him the space to figure out what he needs to figure out. And if he's ever ready to come to you and start dating you again properly, and you're open to that still, then he can come and do that. But outside of that, I don't think you need to spend any more time and energy trying to like figure him out or trying to get him on the same page as you. Because I think basically what this message boils down to is you guys are not on the same page. And if you're not on the same page with the man, you're not going to get him on the same page by either telling him how he's on a different page or trying to, show him the way, so to speak. So your best bet is to just sit back, relax, don't reach out, don't message him. He'll take care of what he needs to take care of with the CEO duties and his ear infection. He'll find you when he's ready to find you. And if you're still open to him and he's ready to date you properly, then you re-entertain it. But if not, don't be wasting a whole bunch of your time trying to reach out and send this message and send that message, especially when he's already not responded to you for 6 days. Okay, let's go on to our next message here. Okay, our next message comes from Missy America herself. Okay, comes from our principal. The principal sends in a message. It's quite it's like an inception. What a milestone. Well, you have arrived here at last, and I'm writing to speak on behalf of the many months of my personal observation in the chat. I know the girls will definitely chime in, of course, and I want to know your thoughts on this milestone for you. So here goes my thoughts. Enjoy. Now let's commence. Okay, so all right. When I first joined, it was a cool thing. I didn't expect what I would bring. So I think the milestone that Missy America is referring to is that I hit 50K on YouTube. Okay, everyone clap it up. We did 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations to us all, because we all did it, all right? When I first joined, it was a cool thing. I didn't expect what I would bring, but then we created a community that I'm sure you are so proud of. I'm very proud of all of you. Beautiful, amazing souls. Very proud. You share your wisdom with us, and I want to applaud you very loud. Thank you. You guys are so amazing. I'm proud of the accomplishment you have made. It's something to be proud of because this legacy will take you to the grave. With all the beautiful people you have in the chat rooms with TikTok and YouTube, we are looking forward to the next level you will reach. Me too. I'm excited too. We're all excited. Okay. From all the dating advice from being single to avocado cartels, we laughed, cried, and felt bad as hell. Okay. But with the consistent wisdom you share with us 5 times a week, I have got to say you have definitely left us with something more to peak for next week. As we are all here to root for your success, I'm here to root for your success as well. Okay. We are all cheering on the sidelines and we'll put the toxic men to rest. Hopefully. That's the goal. As we grow in our wisdom and into more observing of ourselves, we love you for everything you have provided as we still make fun of ourselves. I make fun of myself as well, okay? I make fun of me all the time. For all the silly stories we all think are trolls, so some of them are probably true, to be honest. We still hung in there waiting for what you what you say would be super bold, okay? As people comment in the chat, as they give their own advice, to some, they pay the price. But is this supposed to be a rhyme thing? Oh, I'm trying to see. Were you doing a poem here? But take the advice close to your heart. They learned loving themselves was important from the start. Oh, it's a poem. I see now. Congratulations on 50K and cheers for the future of the Players Club. Congrats, guys. Okay. P.S. Thank you, Players Club team and Players Club fam. Without all of you, none of this would be possible. With my deepest gratitude and love, let's keep flourishing and prospering. Missy America. And for those who haven't connected with me yet personally, feel free to communicate. Missy America is like the principal. Okay. And the ones I have personally communicated with, thank you for being a part of the Players Club. This is a great community. Awesome. This is a great message. Thank you, Missy America, for your message. So glad that you are part of the show, a pivotal part of the show, moderating all of the chats here. And so glad to have you as well. Also, our other moderators, Scotty, SH, and Sharice, they've been here since the basically like the beginning as well. So I appreciate all of you. Okay, it's a great milestone here. We're gonna keep going. It's 100K on YouTube coming soon, very soon. All right, let's hop into our next question here. Return of the X. Okay, this is like a horror story. Hi, Tomisin. First, I want to thank you. You shifted my mind. I'm glad. I am 44. I met a man who was 39 on a dating app in February. Which app? Just say the app. I want you guys to say the app. If you're going to say it, then say it. Tell me which app. I want to know which ones. He started love bombing me. He asked for a date and we met. Wait, so were you able to acknowledge from the beginning he was love bombing you, but you still went on the date? Okay. We talked about our personal goals, plans, values, and values in life. In the 2 weeks, we had 3 to 4 dates. Okay. And he was messaging me consistently. He said he wants to show me nice shops in London, like shopping place, like places to shop. Okay. He bought me expensive shoes and wanted to buy me more stuff. Despite that, I continued to say I didn't want him to buy me those expensive things as I just met him. Later, he called me saying he is just passing by my house. Oh, okay. And asked me to come out for a few minutes. This is quite strange. He met me at my front door. He brought me flowers. Okay, that's nice. That's nice so far. He said he just wanted to ask more he just wanted to ask more the next date. Like ask you more? We haven't even kissed yet. He only took my hand in his hand. Okay. So that night I asked to his, wait, what? I think he meant to say I went to his IG and he gave me his business account. You asked him for his IG and he gave you his business account Instagram. Why? You just started seeing this man. Why do you need his Instagram? He said he doesn't have, he doesn't have private, okay? I found his private IG locked. Oh, sorry, so you asked for it. Wait, so you were dating this guy the whole time and you didn't have his Instagram? Sorry, I was confused because I assumed you had his Instagram. So when you said I asked for the Instagram, I thought you meant I asked him for his password. So he gave you the account name of his business account and you found out he didn't give you the personal account. Okay, that is strange, I won't lie. Especially for a guy you've already been dating. I texted him, it appeared he's unfaithful. I see. Oh, sorry, I said I do not want to know him anymore. He tried to call. I didn't pick up the phone. He texted. He didn't want to show me his Insta before he removes pictures of his ex. Where they do that at? You can just click delete or even click archive. It doesn't take more than 10 seconds. What's difficult about that? I left unread. The next morning, he messaged he didn't sleep all night and was crying. Just delete the picture. Just delete the pictures. He said he regretted he lost me. I forgave him. Oh my God. Oh my God. It never ends. And I seduced him to have pineapple. What? What? What do you mean? You have been tricked. Why do you... Who's playing? Are you guys watching someone else's show? Be honest with me in the chat. Are you watching someone else's show? Because where are you? Why do you think that? Why do you think that you seduced him into sleeping with him when this comes after you, oh my God, you finding out that he's being unfaithful by realizing he didn't give you his personal Instagram account. Then after he apologizes to you, you forgive him, and then and you think you were seducing him by sleeping with him after he showed you he was an unfaithful man. You're watching someone else's show. I know you are. Be honest with me. Tell me whose show you're watching in secret. I want to know the truth. Because you know I would never. Where did you get this from? Tell me the truth. Where did you get the idea that you're seducing a man who showed you he was unfaithful, and after you forgave him, you slept with him? You think that's seduction? Who's teaching you that? Who is? Put it in the chat. I want to know. So that everyone in the chat can block him. He said that night he was ready to wait 2 to 3 months. More. Did you want to make the message more painful? Then we went to a luxury store. What is a congratulations for wasting your own body away? But he didn't buy me anything. You can't make this up. You can't. I couldn't go on ChatGPT and ask him to write me a crazier story. You can't make it up. He bought himself 2 expensive perfumes, but didn't buy any. You can't make this up. You really can't. You really can't. You. Boy, I tell you, boy. I tell you, boy. What did he buy? Put it in the chat. Tell us what he bought. What did he buy? Dior Savage? I bet you he bought a bottle of Dior Savage. Guarantee you he bought a bottle. This type of guy, Dior Savage type of guy. 100% that's the bottle he bought. Let's go on. I don't want to lose my mind. Where's my cursor? Then he said his mother is coming to visit from another country and he will be busy for a week. So he took you to watch him shop, get himself expensive perfume. He bought you nothing after you just gave your body to him. Nice. Next week, he didn't call me. He messaged me every other day and responded on my replies with a 24-hour delay. 9 days later, I became very angry. Now you're angry. I thought you were seducing him. What happened to that? I wrote him a very angry message. Exactly what I say not to do. Are you watching someone else in your spare time? I say exactly to not do any of this. The next day, I apologized for being rude. No reply. Like I tell you, if you try and do a long explanation to men, they're just going to ignore you or not acknowledge you. They don't care. We haven't talked since then, but today he texted again. I am attaching today's chat. Let's see. I want to ask you how I should act to get back into a relationship with him. This is your question for real. Thank you. He says, maybe I want to date you. Wink face. Oh my God. I'm just being curious, or should I not ask? Maybe it's a bit late. Is this your seduction? Well, I'm happy to hear you found, what is this? Someone. That's good. So tell me more about your new guy. You deserve someone nice. Is this, chat, maybe I'm too old. Maybe my culture's different. Maybe my eyes don't work. Maybe my brain is different. Maybe I spend too much time streaming. I don't know what relationships are like. Is this how people flirt nowadays? Tell me more about your new guy. You deserve someone nice. Is that 2024 flirting? Maybe I'm confused. Why? You've changed? Changed what? Has your girlfriend left you? I haven't got a girlfriend. You were horrible towards me, yes. This still doesn't mean I don't want you to be happy. What? I'm not an evil person. I am happy and want you to be happy too. What is it? What is this? What is this? I am happy too. So what do you want? I wanted to see how you were, see how things are. Do you miss me? Chat, are you confused or am I the only one that's confused? Miss what? Now he's crying. He thinks this is a joke. He thinks you're a joke. Don't worry, all good. This is a joke to him. Anyways, this guy's okay. I think the fact that I wait, what? Sorry, I can't. It's very small. I think the fact that I still met you and that you still bring the medicine shows that I've been too nice to you. What? But don't worry about it. Chat, are you the only ones lost? Am I the only one lost? I was just checking in to see how you are and hope everything is okay. What is the point? But I don't need to do this. So then, just sending some love. I really appreciate you bringing the medicine for Daniel. Okay. We were at yours. I know you've been at mine, just can't remember how many times. So basically saying, make it easy for me. Don't make me leave my house or change my crusty nut-stained boxers. Just come over here, let me penetrate you, and then you can be on your way. That's what he's saying, right? This is all. I appreciate you sending the screenshots, but my advice to you from 1 or 0 screenshots would be the same. Just let it go. You have to understand whether he means well or not, whether he's joking or not, whether it was truthfully a mistake about, having his ex on his Instagram or not. This is the type of guy that will waste many, many years of your life. You'll look back on the time that you spent trying to understand him and decode what he wanted, and you'll realize that what you should have done with that time instead is cut him off and just move forward with your life focused on you. And then if you find someone that really wants you and wants to be with you, then you invest that time into that guy, because that way you won't be confused. You won't be going all of these which ways, going back and forth, just trying to understand what does he want here? Because that's the funniest thing about this. All of these messages is literally just you trying to understand, what do you want here? What are we doing here? Right? And that's a serious waste of your time, because all the time that you spend trying to understand what are we doing here and what does he even want here is basically you, instead of you being able to spend that time invested in you, or progressing the relationship, you're just trying to understand what does he even want, whether he actually wants to be with you or whether, he's just messing around. Someone said, oh, she exposed the number. Guys, don't message this guy, all right? Don't message him that you've seen it on the show or anything weird, okay? She accidentally put his number here. I can't undo that, all right? Don't message him, all right? But that's the problem, okay? You're easily going to waste so much time trying to decode and understand what is going on. And that time should be spent on you. Or if you end up finding someone who really actually is intentional with you, that time should be spent with that person. Not a guy that you have to spend majority of the time just trying to understand, are you joking or not? Do you even want to date me or not? Right? Because he's talking back and forth. Oh, you're nice. You're not nice. And it's not even a flirt. You're literally just trying to understand, what are we doing here? What do you want here? Are we in a relationship or not? And he's going back and forth. It's funny. It's a joke, right? It's not, right? Because you have to take your time, your energy seriously. And you have to understand, I should be moving it in the right direction. And if I'm not with the guy that I'm talking to, then I'm wasting time. So honestly, my advice is to just stop wasting time with him. Because all of this decoding and uncoding and translation that you have to do just to try to see, does he even want to date you, is just wasting so much time. Let it go. Move forward. Delete his number. Delete his WhatsApp. Okay? Don't check his status anymore. And you don't even follow his personal account. Don't even bother following it now. Okay? All right, chat. That's the show for today. For those of you who have a question for me, feel free to send in your question via our link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. You can send in your question there, and I will answer it for you. If it's on Discord, I'll answer it live on the show. And if it's a private question, you can also send it in to me, and I'll answer it personally. I'm going to do some of my private questions right after this show. Also, let me do some of these. I see we had some, I think we had some more super chats. Oh, Olga donated $5 in the TikTok chat. She said, Tomisin, please reply to my premium question. Did I not just do yours? I think I just did them all, right? They're all here. Okay, I believe so. Except for one. Is that you? Is that you? We'll do it tomorrow if that last one's you, okay? The next one comes from Tracy Niles. Tracy Niles says, donates $5. She just donates $5 to donate. Thank you so much. And Nicole Cottom, of course, the most general Nicole, donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She said, you mentioned other sources that they will go for validation. Do the other sources mean other women? Great lesson today, as always. The other sources of validation as they relate to you just mean different ways of getting validation from you. So obviously sleeping with you, that's validation because he knows that you want him and want to be with him. But if he can't sleep with you, then he gets that validation from hearing you say how much you like him, how much you want him, which is sometimes why guys will kind of ask you questions to get you to say how much you like him or want him. And aside from the verbal, it can also be, how available will you be to me? To me, will you drop everything for me? Will you change your shifts for me? Will you abandon your friends or your family hangouts to be with me instead? That's also a sign to me that I'm validated, because I must be very important if you'll do all of those things for me. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense to all of you guys. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just there on top of the top left corner of the screen. If you're on TikTok, it's just Tomisin_Atub. And then if you're on YouTube, it's in my description link there. You can follow me on Instagram. And I tried to get back to you guys on Instagram for those of you guys who are just like, I love the show and things like that. So I appreciate all of you. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show, my YouTube is just above my head on the top right corner of the screen. It's just my name, Tomisin Atobatele. Go type in my name on YouTube, and then you can go into the live section and you can rewatch this entire show, the entire live stream in the YouTube, my YouTube channel. And then when you go into that live section, you'll get the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a second of conversation that we have here on the show, okay? I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to know what time that is in your time zone, you got to translate it, okay? So I'm 4 p.m. EST. You got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. And I'm here tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST, okay? Until we meet again, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam, I'm missing one. Adios. Bon voyage. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a great time, an awesome time, an amazing time. Okay? I enjoyed my time with you today. It's a great Monday. I'll see you later. Not that long. Be less than 20.